Hi guys, welcome to a new YouTube video. I hope you're all doing well, having a great day. Today I'm going to give you guys a full guide on how you can cut down body fat while maintaining your muscle. So I'm gonna get right into it. So first I'm going to go over the basics, things you might already know, and later on we're going to go a little bit deeper on some important stuff. So the first thing is you need to be in a caloric deficit, because of course you need to burn more than you take in. I recommend a small caloric deficit, especially in the beginning. I would recommend a caloric deficit of 100 to 200 calories. So you have your maintenance. You can calculate your maintenance on different websites. It asks for your age, your activity level, your weight, and it will calculate your maintenance. Now, what is that maintenance? Your maintenance means the amount of calories you have to eat to stay the same weight. So very simple, if you eat under that maintenance, you will lose weight. If you eat above that maintenance, you will gain weight. So if you want to keep as much muscle as possible, you have to be in a slight caloric deficit because you want to burn fat, but don't want to burn any muscle. Now, if you're not losing weight in a slight caloric deficit, after 2 weeks, for example, you lower your caloric intake by another 100. So minus 300 or minus 200, depending on what you started with. Now, a very big problem that I see with the calorie intake is that a lot of people underestimate how much they eat. If you cook with butter, you cook with olive oil, they don't add that in, and that can easily be an extra 200 calories a day that can make difference between being on your maintenance or being under your maintenance. So it's very important that you measure everything you eat. In the beginning, measuring everything is pretty annoying, but after a while you get very used to it. For me, it's automatically. If I eat something, my brain says, oh wait, take your app, note it in the app. It becomes a routine after some time, so you just have to program it in yourself in some way. So the second basic thing is resistance training. You have to go to the gym, because if you want to keep your muscle, the muscle has to be trained, and frequently. I would recommend training 3 to 5 times a week. For example, in my case, I can recover much better on a bulk, which is logical because I'm having a lot more food. My body has a lot of reserves and a lot of energy. And in a cut, it's harder for me to train 5 times a week. So I only have to train 4 times a week, and only if I'm really recovered, I can train 5 times a week. So I would recommend 3 to 5 times a week of resistance training and applying progressive overload. Now, why is progressive overload so underrated? Because a lot of people think they are applying progressive overload to say, yeah, I'm using a weight that's more challenging than last week, but they aren't tracking their workout. So they might think that they're using a weight that's more challenging, but actually it's just not. That's a struggle I've had for many months, and since I started just really tracking everything, so shoulder press, 60 kg times 5. Just noting everything down, I can see, oh, last week I got 60 kg for 5 reps. Okay, I'm gonna fight for it to have 6 reps today. That way you have a goal in your exercise, and it really makes a difference, believe me. Do it for a week and you'll notice a difference. Then the third thing on my basic list is cardio. Every day, half an hour at least. Why every day? You have to make it a routine. If you tell yourself, yeah, I'll do my cardio 2 to 3 times a week, I promise you, you will forget it and you will do it once a week. If you do it every day at the same time, you'll get so used to it. I do it personally every morning. I wake up, I get my socks on, I drag myself to the loopmachine. I don't know how you call it in English, but I do my half an hour, sometimes 15 minutes of cardio, depends on the day, but I do at least 30 minutes of cardio. So I recommend making it a routine. Whether it's walking the dog or going on a treadmill, that's how it's called. It doesn't matter, you have to do it every day. Choose some form of cardio you can do every day, whether it's riding with the bike to work or taking the bike to school. If it's half an hour and you're burning at least 200 calories with it, it's perfect. So the last item on my basic list is sleep. I recommend getting at least 8 hours of sleep, and if you have the possibility, measure your sleep, because the quality is rather more important than the quantity. If you are over 7 hours of sleep, the quality becomes much more important than just having the 8 hours. I would even say that having 6 hours of quality sleep is better than having 8 hours of non-quality sleep, of bad sleep. So if you have the opportunity to measure your sleep, I would recommend doing that and checking your deep sleep. And if it's not enough, I would recommend taking magnesium before you go to sleep and maybe some other type of sleep products. But on a basic level, I would say try to get at least 7 hours of sleep and you'll be fine. But if you have the opportunity, measure it, measure your quality of the sleep because a lot of people underestimate the power of the quality. Now, that's it for the basic stuff. I hope that's clear. So I'm going to give you guys a quick recap. So we have caloric deficits. You have to eat less than you burn. You have to do some type of resistance training and apply progressive overload. You have to do cardio every day and burn at least 200 calories with this cardio. And you have to sleep well. Now we're gonna go over the more advanced stuff. So if you understand all the basics, I think this can be a real added value for you guys. So the first thing is macronutrients. Okay, you know you have to eat in a caloric deficit, but what do you have to eat? You can eat in a caloric deficit of donuts. You can eat in a caloric deficit of only chicken. Both are not optimal. We have 3 types of macronutrients. We have proteins, fats, and carbs. Proteins are for building in the body, and fats and carbs are for energy. Those two are our energy sources. How does the body choose which type of energy source is going to choose? So we have fats and we have carbs. If you're doing something very intensively, for example, running or lifting weights, if your heartbeat is going above 140, your body is going to burn carbs. If your heartbeat is going under 140 and you're doing some low intensity cardio like walking, incline walking, you're going to burn your fats. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter which one of those two that you burn while doing your cardio. If you burn a lot of carbs during your cardio, your body will use more fats during the day. If you burn a lot of fats during your cardio, your body will burn more carbs during the day. So now that you guys know that, you're probably wondering how much protein should I eat, how much fats should I eat, and how much carbs should I eat? Well, I can tell you have to eat all 3. I see a big misconception of a lot of people thinking, oh, I'm in a cut, I have to eat a lot of protein so I can keep my muscle. Yeah, you're gonna have to eat a lot of protein, but you need fats for your hormones, because if your hormones are shit, I promise you're going to lose muscle, and you need carbs for energy, because otherwise your fitness trainings, your gym sessions will be shit. So how much fat do you need, how much protein do you need, and how much carbs do you need? So for the fats, I would recommend around 1 gram per kg of body weight. For me, that's around 75 grams of fat. For the proteins, I would recommend around 2 grams per kg of body weight. So for me, that's 150 grams of protein. But you can go above that. You can go to like 2.4 grams per kg of body weight. But I would say 2.5 might be the max. Well, practically there is no max, but there is a recommended range. If you want to keep it simple, I would recommend around 2 grams of protein per kg of body weight. And then everything you have left in your calories can go into the carbs. So there's no recommended range. Everything you have left for calories after filling the proteins and the fats, you can eat as carbs. I would recommend eating those carbs before and after your workouts. Before your workouts, they will fuel your workouts, and after your workouts, they will refuel your glycogen storages for your next workout. The second thing on my deeper tips list is your body fat. To what body fat should you try to cut? To what body fat should you try to bulk? So I come from around 17 to 18% of body fat. I did a DEXA scan at 81 kg and I had 70% body fat, so I'm guessing at 83 kgs, which was my max weight, I was around 18% body fat, and now I'm between 10 and 12% body fat. Right now I weigh 75 kg, so I've lost around 7 kg of body weight and around 6% of body fat. Now I did a bulk, which was pretty stupid, because in my opinion right now, I think bulk is pretty useless, because you're spending all this time bulking, you're getting bigger, you're getting stronger, and then you cut, you don't get weaker, but you don't get stronger as well. So you just stay in the same place for like 4 to 5 months and your progress practically stops. Luckily, it doesn't reverse, because with some people it does reverse, but it's probably because you're cutting too fast. Simply, I think bulking isn't worth it. I would recommend to bulk in a slight caloric surplus, so only 100 to 200 calories above your maintenance, and do that until you reach like 15 to 16% body fat, and then cut it off right there. Go for a little cut until you're back around 12% body fat, and just start building again. So what would I recommend? I would recommend a bulk being between 14 and 16% body fat, and a cut between 9 and 12% body fat. So much lower than what I did. At the time I wasn't as well educated as right now, so I've made a stupid decision by bulking to 18% body fat, but I won't do it again. I'm now cutting to around 10% body fat, and afterwards I'm just going to go for a slight caloric surplus and gaining as much muscle as possible until I reach like 15% body fat, and then go for a small cut again. So guys, please optimize your sleep, optimize your training by adding progressive overload, and really tracking your workouts. And in terms of eating, guys, track your calories and track your macros and you'll be fine. That was the video for today. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments so I can answer them in the next video. And yeah, I hope I've been helpful, and I'll see you guys in the vlog next week. I'm going to rock Werchter next week, so I'm going to make a great vlog out of that. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.